this is my IL614 internship in personnel development. This was Learning Unit 3, is Human Resources Portfolio. A new teacher induction plan is what we were assigned to come up with. This was a group project between Malcolm Daly, Florida Jones, Crystal Alexander, and myself. So the overview of the plan, the idea would be for the board to fill all vacancies by the July board meeting. And then the fourth week of July begins the new teacher orientation. First year teachers would be here for a full 4-day training, and new hires who have been here but not first year, been in teaching but not first year, would be there for half a day during those 4 days. And new hires throughout the system would be allowed to have a flexible schedule to be trained in these areas. These are things that we found that we thought would be a good idea. So, day 1 would be legal and ethical issues and Alabama Educator Code of Ethics. Day 2 would be special programs. Day 3 would be technology. And day 4 would be going over the student code of conduct. Open discussion about expectations and things like that to give new teachers an opportunity to ask questions after they've been through these trainings. And then let their mentors come in and have mentor introductions and break out into small groups from there. So, there we go. Alright, so day 1 would be professional conduct, the trustworthiness, unlawful acts, appropriate teacher-student relationships, use of possession or alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, public funds and property, remunerative conduct, confidentiality, and abandonment of contract. We would go over the reporting of infractions, the disciplinary action process will also be addressed. Participants will engage in written activities to demonstrate their understanding of those concepts, and those artifacts will be placed in their personnel folder. So if there ever was an issue to come up, that we know that they have actually been educated on that. Special programs, participants would get an overview of the basic goals and processes of a variety of special programs in the district. Each section will be presented by the central office staff member who oversees that program, allow new hires to become familiar with who they're talking to, especially like by email or by phone with the central office staff. Being able to put a name and a face together. And those programs would include special education, the English language learners, the career tech education, who the pre-K programs are run by, and also literacy programs. And the pre-K and literacy would actually, not pre-K and literacy, pre-K and career tech would actually kind of be divided, because you would want secondary teachers go into the career tech and education, and your elementary teachers get more information about the pre-K. So the special programs, we would talk about the how-to process, like how to identify those students for programs, how that process works. The other thing we would work on would be recognizing the who, like then referring it, okay? And then what's needed, the documentation, and where to refer to for help, okay? Technology would be day 3. We talk about district guidelines, staff use of technology, students' use of technology, data governance, like who's allowed to see data, who do you need to hide data from, acceptable phone use, acceptable internet use, what's our bring your own device policy. You know, here at ASSC schools we don't currently have one, but in the future if we were to have a bring your own device, what would that all include? Okay, device inventory, how to do device management, device repair and disposal. So we would talk about, you know, how are we using technology. We'd probably talk about the programs that we have set up, and the participants would end up setting up their online learning platforms if those are available, and then also creating a lesson plan that would be kept as an artifact, that, you know, proof that we understand how to use technology in our lesson plans. Student code of conduct, Of course, we would review it. We would talk about attendance, especially here in Anniston, since attendance is such an issue, that would be one of the main things. What a student has to do in order to participate in extracurricular activities, what harassment is, what's the disciplinary procedures, what we consider a classroom management issue versus an office referral versus a, intermediate disciplinary issue. So, grade advancements, what kind of grade does a student have in order to move? And then also graduation requirements. Employee discussions and mentor introductions. The district and safety and security director will review the general safety protocols and issue photo IDs to new hires. Participants will also have a session for open discussion. So do like a little panel is kind of our idea, that we would have the heads of each department there, so that as we wanted to ask questions we could, or even if the mood of the orientation was, people felt kind of insecure about asking things, letting them have that time to maybe go meet with that director in that office to ask their questions. And they've had a few days to think about this. This is not just throwing it all out in one day and, hey, I hope you got it, good luck to you. This is, we're going to try to embrace you and help you, And then they would be introduced to their local school-based mentors and have that time to go and work with that mentor. Now, the mentor program, you would be matched according to your grade level, content, and proximity. The principals would contribute to the matching process, but the mentors would be recognized as an outstanding teacher who exemplifies the profession through example professional and instructional skills, personal skills, and commitment to the mentoring process. And so there would be selection criteria. So if you wanted to do this, what we would want you to do is to submit an application, and it would be graded by, the principal. Are you a 4 or a 1? Doing it on a rubric, and so 4's being the best, 1's being towards the end. And so it would not just be, okay, well, I have this teacher to go talk to. The mentee needs assessment. And what we mean by that is, if Miss Holliday was my mentee, or I was the mentee, and Miss Holliday was my mentor, Miss Holliday would come watch me teach and give me pointers off of kind of like a little scale as to what I might need to work on. And maybe like the first month we're working on classroom management. So Holliday's coming in and she's looking to see what I need help with the most on classroom management. Because as a first year teacher, sometimes what you view as something just out of this world, another teacher can help you curb that behavior in a different way. And it's always good to feed off of one another, because we are, especially here, we're in clusters, so we're not centrally located to the office. And it's not like we can just pick up the phone and call and ask a question. You're teaching, and so you need that. We would have certain meeting days and times. We would have program documentation. It would be turned in so that, in this case, especially in Anniston, our mentors get a stipend. So this way we have an idea as to why they're getting their stipend. There's work being proven. So then we would go over like reports and record keeping. How do we do those 9-week reports for Miss Garrick? Now, if you're first year and you're having to ask someone, you want to make sure you're doing it right, because it's hard to teach your first year. They would also get monthly training, and it could be after school, it could be during our planning, it could be a professional development day. That would depend on what the money situation was for that. And topics would be covered based on a survey that's given every month. So the mentees would actually figure out, okay, we'd send out a survey on Google Form, and they would click what they need the most help with, so that then their mentor and their principal know, okay, well, Ashley's needing help in this, or Candace is needing help in this. And in that way, we're not leaving the first year teacher without any support system, because we want to keep our teachers and keep them from being frustrated. So they would at least meet for 1 hour a week from each month from August to May. That's not really a whole lot of time, you know, a huge time commitment really, but documentation log would be kept and submitted, and topics would be given as a guide. So it would be like, okay, well, week 1, how was your first day of school? You know, what did you learn from the first day and how it runs here? You know, and what questions do you have for next year so that I can address those, things like that. And you would keep a constant conversation going on, like, you know, through email or through text, and then face-to-face as well. And then also we would talk about orienting the new teacher to the policies and procedures and the culture of the school. One of the things that I wish I would have done, even when I came here and I wasn't a first-year teacher, I wish someone would have taken me riding around Anniston so I could have seen where my kids are coming from. Because we do teach in a high poverty area, and that's something that I don't think that we all realize as much, and I think that would have been a really good thing if someone would have taken the time. I mean, you know, it takes an hour to drive around Anniston, it's not that big, but just to kind of give me an idea where our kids are coming from. And then they would also share materials and provide resources and sources of materials to help promote effective instruction. And so this was kind of our timeline, the when, the who, and the what. So July, this is who would be meeting and what they would be talking about. Ironing out the topics of what we think a first-year teacher should know. And then also we would be doing school coordinator mentee meetings in September. And we would complete a needs assessment. What does my first-year teacher partner need? You know, are they needing extra materials? Are they needing help making assessments that are standards-based? You know, things like that. And then something that was always ongoing would be the meetings and the school-wide meetings. In August and September, we would talk about a district-wide program orientation for everyone, principals, mentees, mentors, everybody. And that's it. Thank you.